What is up, you guys? This is Mini Superheroes Today. Leading up to Avengers Endgame, I made customs of every single LEGO Marvel movie leading up to it at that point. Well, now we've got the Kang Dynasty on the way, and we've gotten tons of new upgraded prints, minifigures, and so much more, so I'm going back to the beginning, and we're revisiting every MCU movie once a month leading up to Kang Dynasty. So hit like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the future installments, and let's get into today's video. Well, the road to Kang Dynasty continues, and in today's video, we'll be revisiting Iron Man 2. Gosh, it's so crazy so many years have gone by since this movie came out, and it was really fun to re-watch. I think it's aged pretty well. It's not like the best MCU movie ever, but it aged a lot better than I remembered it aging, and yeah, I'm really excited to get this show on the road. So, let's start showing you how to build all the Iron Man 2 minifigures using 100% official LEGO parts and pieces. So we do see Ivan Vanko up first, but it's not really that interesting of an outfit, so let's go ahead and start with the Iron Man Mark IV armor. So we're going to use the Mark III armor, which of course comes from the Infinity Saga Ironmonger Mayhem. That gets you the helmet, torso, and legs for this, and as on many of my Iron Man customs, we're going to use the arms from the Monkey King from the LEGO Collectible Minifigure series. That way you get the mix of red and gold on the arms, and it just adds a little extra detail. We then see Tony Stark, and of course he's dressed to the nines, as he always is, so I used the standard Tony Stark head, the more modern version that is, with some brown swept-back hair, some dark blue legs, and this torso, I believe, came from City back in the day, but man, there's so many suits and ties out there for LEGO minifigures that you could really use any of them, it doesn't matter. Now here in the LEGO Marvel community, it's kind of a meme to laugh about how bad the Happy Hogan minifigure was from Spider-Man Far From Home, but ironically, it actually looks pretty good for this era, except you need to give him the brown receding hair, but of course that torso is coming other places, and the head is even used on Shang-Chi, so, you know, you could get the Happy figure a number of different ways, but that's what I used here. In this series, I've been making all the Stan Lee cameos, and we do see Stan Lee, and Tony mistakes him for Larry King, which is pretty funny. So what I used here is this custom head from Firestar Toys. I know that that breaks the purist method, but honestly, this head looks so good for Stan that I recommend all LEGO Marvel fans trying to hunt that piece down anyways. This torso comes from like a clown character from Lego City. I gave him some tan khaki legs, some matching hands, and of course the swept back silver hair to pull it all together. Justin Hammer wears a lot of different suits in this, but I kind of used some logic for the suit that I picked here. Of course, the suit comes from the 2012 Bruce Wayne minifigure, and I thought, okay, Bruce Wayne is to DC what Tony Stark is to Marvel, so I thought it'd be funny since these two are kind of like mirror images of each other in the MCU to give him Bruce Wayne's suit. Of course, the head and hair combo come from the actual Justin Hammer figure, but the hair was also on Egon from Ghostbusters, and the head also came on a Jurassic Park scientist at one point, so there's lots of options out there. For Rhodey, I used this torso that came on Barbara Gordon from the LEGO Batman movie, but there is a better torso. It is the Commissioner Gordon one, because that has like all the badges on it, but at the time of filming this video, I couldn't find it. I'm sure I have it in my collection somewhere, but man, I have literally thousands of minifigs, so it is pretty easy to lose pieces. That being said, I gave him some dark blue legs, matching hands, the head from Rhodey from Infinity War, and of course he's got that hairpiece that came from Falcon from the collectible minifigure series. That is Sam Wilson Captain America, but you know, I think that pulls the look together for Rhodey from this movie pretty well. For a more casual Tony Stark, I used the torso, legs, head, and hair from the Iron Man 3 Tony Stark, and I gave him these dual-molded arms that came on Ethan Hunt from the LEGO Dimensions Mission Impossible set, because that is pretty accurate to what we see Tony wearing when he's working in his garage in the movie. Pepper Potts wears a ton of different outfits in this movie, but I kind of went for like the business casual look, and this is pretty easy because the hair and head come from Pepper Potts from the Ironmonger Mayhem set, or the Iron Man Armory set, because it's the same minifigure, and the torso and legs come from Lois Lane from the Man of Steel sets from back in the day, so it's pretty cool. I do like the look a lot, and you could probably make a whole bunch of different versions for her outfits in the movie, but I thought that this one covered all the bases and the general look pretty well. The first time we meet Black Widow is in this movie, and of course at that point she's Natalie Rushman. So to build that, I used the modern version of the Black Widow head, which is like the Jyn Erso head. I do think that that works pretty well for the character. However, the Age of Ultron Civil War era of Black Widow probably has the best Scarlett Johansson likeness, but for some reason I just really like this head for an Iron Man 2 version, so that's what I used here. Ironically, the torso is Pepper Potts' torso from Iron Man 3, and the legs are these skirt legs from the Scarlet Witch from 2015. Tony Stark's racing suit is pretty much impossible to make in the purist method because his suit says Stark across the front, so I thought that the Jurassic World ACU legs and torso were pretty good to get you a nice balance of black and blue elements on the torso. Now, this is the suitcase from Mega Bloks back in the day, but there is a Lego suitcase. I just happen to have lost mine. I can't find it and don't know where it is, but there is a Lego suitcase armor. I just thought I'd throw some Mega Bloks in there to be funny, and of course the head and hair combo is the same from the first Tony Stark in this showcase. So now that we're at the racetrack, we can finally build Ivan Vanko, aka Whiplash. For this character, I used these legs from the Joker from the Lego Batman movie. I just really like those orange jumpsuit legs. I think it really works well for this. The torso comes from a character named Mutant Leader from Lego DC. I like that you get the shirtless look, and you can see he's kind of got some like scratches and stuff on there that shows he's kind of worse for the wear. And I really like the printing around the wrists that tie in well for the character too. These black vines come from Venom, but they've come in lots of places, I guess, over the years. That's just where I got these from. I gave him a neck bracket with a 1x1 stud, and I put a 1x1 flat piece on there for his kind of pseudo arc reactor. The head comes from the official Whiplash character from the Lego Marvel Iron Man Armory, and then I gave him long black hair to pull it all together. The suitcase armor is one of the most iconic scenes from this movie, and I'm really happy with the way that the custom turned out. You will need the suitcase armor from the Iron Man Hall of Armors from Avengers Endgame, and then the legs and arms are the, awesome printed ones. The dual molded arms with the printing on the sides of the legs and the toes, and those come from the Silver Centurion, which is a very, very rare minifig at this point, and I almost really didn't want to tear off the arms and legs because it's getting so valuable. I hate to make a custom of it, but I break apart my figures all the time for you guys, so hey, what's one more, right? At the house party, Rhodey suits up in the Iron Man Mark II armor, which, they did give us a Mark II, but it's kind of based off of, the comics look, so, it's not quite MCU, but it is an Iron Man Mark II, and it's going to be a lot harder to get any closer than this. So that's exactly what I used here. I didn't go through the trouble of putting Rhodey in the suit, but of course, you could just use that head from before to get you that exact look if you wanted to recreate that scene. Now we're at the point where Nick Fury shows up in the donut shop, Randy's Donuts. Fun fact, I've actually been there to the one in Inglewood, California. Kind of cool. Anyways, this Nick Fury is the one that came in the UCS helicarrier, and I like that one a lot because it kind of reminds me of that early Phase 1 Nick Fury look. There is the more modern version that has, the shield, emblem on there, but I just think that this looks a lot more like Phase 1 Nick Fury, so you could use this one, don't get me wrong, but I just love the original all these years later. We also see Black Widow suited up for the first time at this point, so the hair, face, torso, and arm printing and all that come from the 2023 Avengers Quinjet Black Widow, and the legs come from the 2012 original Black Widow, so it's kind of a cool mixed match of those two. Agent Coulson shows up at Tony Stark's disheveled house, and it's kind of weird hearing him name drop Super Nanny because it really reminds you that this movie was a long time ago. Anyways, this is the official Agent Coulson minifigure. I think it came out in 2015 if I'm not mistaken, or it might have been 2017. Gosh, time is flying. Anyways, not much to upgrade here, especially with that headpiece. It just looks so great. So this figure kind of works as a 2-in-1. Of course, it came in the Iron Man Armory as Whiplash, but it also works pretty darn well for the Hammer drones, so it's a tough figure to army build because it only came in one way overpriced set, but if you have the ability to army build, this is what I would recommend using for those Hammer drones as well as Whiplash from the end of the movie. Now, you guys know I'm not a huge fan of these new Iron Man helmets. I just think that they look really weird with, like, the printing being so flat. They do look decent from certain angles, but man, there's nothing better than those original helmets, if you ask me. But the War Machine that came in the Iron Man armory is technically the most accurate version we've gotten of War Machine from this movie to this point, so it is what we're going to use here, and unfortunately, there's not really a helmet that fits to switch out the helmet, so we're just going to use this figure exactly the way it comes. Iron Man's armor from the end of the movie is the Mark VI armor, which we do technically have a minifigure for. That, of course, gives you the triangular arc reactor on it, and I didn't make any upgrades here. Yeah, sure, if you wanted, you could swap out the arms. You know, I might recommend that, but if you don't have more than one set, I do think the dual molded arms look better on this figure than this figure, so you could kind of choose what you want to do, but that's what I did here. And they went back and retconned that little kid Iron Man saves is actually Peter Parker, believe it or not. So, you know, I just had some fun with this and gave him a very youthful look. I gave him the 2020 Avengers helmet for Iron Man. The torso is Lloyd from the Lego Ninjago movie with tan hands and light blue short legs to make sure that he looks like a kid. So with that being said, let's zoom out and finish out this Iron Man 2 showcase. Well, if you haven't hit like and subscribe already, make sure you do so you don't miss any of the other future Road to Kang Dynasty videos. Remember, I'm doing one Marvel movie a month all the way up to Kang Dynasty, which is a couple years away at this point, but it's going to be a fun journey, and I can't wait to continue it on with you. So I'll catch you guys on the next video, and until next time, build on. Well, you made it to the end of the video. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and maybe check out one of my other videos listed here.